North and South Poles are among the coldest regions on Earth. This system, with its long and harsh winters and the freezing winds that follow, can completely kill those who are not adapted to such conditions, even adults. The temperature differences between day and night in the polar regions make it extremely difficult for living species to adapt to these environments. Each year, these areas experience months of darkness, and these periods are far colder and harsher than others. Yet, life exists everywhere. Even in the poles, where survival is incredibly difficult. Many people once believed that dinosaurs lived in warm and humid environments. However, in reality, there were dinosaurs that once lived in polar regions and adapted to these harsh conditions. Thanks to the remains they left behind, we now have a lot of information about them. This week, we go back millions of years to explore what the polar regions were like in the past and which species lived there, as well as how they managed to survive in such cold conditions. To understand this, we need to go back about 100 to 110 million years, but to see why these creatures had to endure such cold, we must go even further back, around 200 million years. If we go back approximately 240 million years, all continents were united into a single supercontinent called Pangaea. However, Pangaea did not remain in that state forever. Around 200 million years ago, it began to break apart, and the continents started drifting away from each other. During this time, Australia and Antarctica were still connected, and were slowly drifting toward the South Pole together, carrying the life forms on them, including dinosaurs. As they moved, Antarctica was not yet covered in ice as it is today. Instead, it was home to many types of trees and a wide variety of living organisms, including dinosaurs. This information comes from drilling and research conducted by scientists in Antarctica, where accumulated evidence has been discovered. Similarly, Australia was not the barren land it is today, but a lush, green environment filled with diverse life forms. However, these continents were not always like this. Over the 100 million years they spent drifting toward the South Pole, the global climate of Earth was generally warm and humid, but temperatures near the South Polar Circle were still significantly lower than the global average. Some studies suggest that around 100 to 110 million years ago, temperatures at the South Pole ranged between 4 and 8 degrees Celsius. While these temperatures may not have supported permanent ice sheets, they indicate that the land near the South Pole could have been seasonally frozen, with temperatures occasionally dropping below zero. This means that parts of Antarctica and Australia near the South Pole likely experienced snowy conditions during certain periods, with long and harsh winters. Fossil evidence shows that dinosaurs were among the creatures living in these environments. For example, fossils found in southern Australia indicate that small ornithopods, parrot-like oviraptorosaurs, and two-legged dinosaurs such as Leelinosaura were able to survive in these cold conditions. Timmumus hermanni may have struggled to survive during the long, cold winters near the South Pole, possibly hunting smaller animals. Scientists believe that some of these dinosaurs may have dug burrows to survive the prolonged winter darkness and cold. Another factor that may have helped them survive was the presence of primitive feathers. It is now known that many dinosaurs had protofeathers, which, although not as complex as modern bird feathers, provided insulation. Dinosaurs living near the South Pole likely had these feathers which helped them retain heat. Additionally, scientists think that these protofeathers were often dark in color, allowing the animals to absorb more heat from sunlight. The story does not end in the South Pole. Fossils of these dinosaurs may still lie hidden beneath Antarctica's thick ice sheets or under the dry soils of southern Australia, waiting to be discovered through further research. Dinosaurs did not only live in the South Pole, they also inhabited regions near the North Pole, adapting to similarly harsh conditions. However, these northern dinosaurs lived during a different time period, around 70 million years ago. In 1961, Robert Liscombe, working for the Shell Oil Company, was mapping the Colville River in Alaska when he discovered something unexpected: fossilized bones embedded in a slope along the river. Initially, he thought these bones belonged to modern animals, but he kept finding more. These fossils were stored in a shell archive and largely forgotten for about 20 years. In 1984, scientists revisiting the Colville River region found additional fossils, leading to further investigation. At first, many scientists believed that finding dinosaur fossils in such a cold northern region was impossible, assuming it was merely a coincidence. However, further excavations revealed that the fossils were abundant and not accidental. The discoveries showed that dinosaurs not only passed through these regions but also lived, nested, and raised their young there. This evidence significantly changed our understanding, suggesting that these dinosaurs were likely mesothermic, having characteristics of both cold-blooded and warm-blooded animals. So, what types of dinosaurs lived near the North Pole? Around 70 million years ago, the North Pole was not covered in massive ice sheets as it is today. Instead, it was home to vast coniferous forests and green landscapes. However, this did not prevent the region from experiencing harsh winters. Studies indicate that the area around the Colville River was located near what is now Ellesmere Island, placing it close to the Arctic Circle. Winters in this region could last up to 120 days, with temperatures occasionally dropping below freezing, while the average annual temperature was around 6 degrees Celsius. Despite the generally warm global climate of the time, these conditions would still have been quite challenging. Fossils found in this region show that large herbivores such as Ugranaluk, a type of hadrosaur that could grow up to 9 meters long, and Pachyrhinosaurus, a ceratopsian, lived there. One of the most unusual creatures in this environment was the therizinosaurs, bizarre theropods with large bodies, short tails, long necks, and massive claws. These animals, which could reach the size of a giraffe and weigh up to 5.5 tons, likely used their long claws to pull down branches for feeding. Footprints suggest that they lived in the cold forests of Alaska. Of course, these regions were not inhabited only by herbivores. Predators also lived there. One example is Nanuqsaurus, a carnivorous dinosaur that could grow up to 6 meters in length. It likely had thick protofeathers to protect itself from the cold and possessed a highly developed sense of smell, allowing it to locate prey across vast distances. With its sharp teeth, it could efficiently hunt herbivorous dinosaurs, and its strong sense of smell suggests it may have also scavenged when necessary. In conclusion, dinosaurs lived in both the North and South Poles, adapting to extreme conditions. Many of their remains are still hidden beneath layers of earth and ice, waiting to be discovered. In the future, further research will likely uncover even more about these fascinating creatures. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to check out more videos like this and subscribe to the channel while enabling all notifications.